communication problems are killing more relationships than cheating. Most people think they're good communicators. But here's what's crazy. The biggest relationship destroyers aren't the obvious fights or dramatic blowouts. But the real relationship killers are these subtle communication mistakes that happen every single day. And most couples have no idea they're even doing them. I've studied thousands of relationship patterns, and these 5 mistakes show up in 90% of failed relationships. Today, we're diving deep into the psychology of relationship communication, because understanding these patterns could literally save your relationship. Here's the thing about emotional intelligence in relationships. It's not just about understanding your own emotions. It's about recognizing the invisible communication patterns that either build trust or slowly erode it over time. Therefore, if you want a relationship that actually lasts, you need to understand what's happening beneath the surface of your daily conversations. Mistake. Number 1, the phone zombie syndrome. Picture this. You're at dinner with your partner and you're both physically present, but mentally, you're somewhere else entirely. This is what I call the phone zombie syndrome, and it's more dangerous than you think. When we're not actively listening, we're not just missing information, we're missing emotional connection. Your mental health as a couple depends on feeling heard and understood. But here's what most people don't realise. Your brain processes emotional disconnection as a threat. When your partner feels unheard, their nervous system literally interprets this as rejection. Therefore, every time you choose your phone over presence, you're making a withdrawal from your relationship's emotional bank account. Create phone-free zones, not just during dinner, but during any meaningful conversation. Your personal development as a couple requires this foundation of presence. Mistake number 2, the silent treatment trap. Now, we've all been there. You're angry, hurt, or frustrated, and the easiest thing to do is just shut down. But the silent treatment isn't protecting your relationship, it's slowly poisoning it. Here's the psychology behind why this is so destructive. When you give someone the silent treatment, you're activating their abandonment fears. Their brain doesn't interpret your silence as, I need space. It interprets it as, I'm being rejected. Therefore, what you think is self-protection is actually relationship destruction. But there's a better way. Instead of going silent, try this. I'm feeling overwhelmed right now, and I need 20 minutes to process this. Can we revisit this conversation after I've had some time to think? This approach honours your need for space while maintaining emotional connection. It's a game changer for your emotional intelligence as a couple. Mistake number 3, the assumption avalanche. This one is sneaky because it feels like you're being understanding. You think you know why your partner did something, so you don't ask questions. But assumptions are relationship killers, disguised as shortcuts. Here's what happens. Your partner does something that triggers you. Instead of getting curious about their perspective, you create a story in your head about their intentions. That story becomes your reality, and you respond to your assumption rather than their actual experience. Therefore, you end up fighting about something that might not even be true. The fix: get curious, not furious. When something bothers you, try this phrase: help me understand. This simple shift transforms conflict into connection and dramatically improves your mental health as a couple. Mistake number 4, the emotional hijack. When emotions run high, logic runs low. This is basic neuroscience. When your amygdala is activated, your prefrontal cortex goes offline. But most couples try to have important conversations when they're emotionally flooded. Here's the problem. When you're in emotional hijack mode, you literally cannot access your emotional intelligence. You're operating from your reptilian brain, which only knows fight, flight, or freeze. Therefore, timing is everything in relationship communication. The solution: learn to recognize when you or your partner are emotionally flooded. Signs include raised voices, rapid heartbeat, or feeling like you need to win the conversation. When this happens, take a 20-minute break. This isn't avoidance, it's emotional regulation. Your personal development as individuals and as a couple depends on learning this skill. Mistake number 5, the validation vacuum. This is the most overlooked communication mistake, but it might be the most important one. When your partner shares something with you, whether it's excitement, frustration, or fear, they're not just sharing information. They're making a bid for emotional connection. But here's what most people do wrong. They try to fix, minimize, or redirect instead of simply validating the emotion. For example, your partner says, "I had such a stressful day at work." The wrong response: "At least you have a job," or "Tomorrow will be better." The right response: "That sounds really overwhelming. Tell me more about what happened." Therefore, validation isn't agreement, it's acknowledgement. You're saying, "Your experience matters to me." This single shift can transform your relationship's emotional intelligence and create the safety your partner needs to be vulnerable with you. Now, here's what's really happening beneath all these mistakes. Every communication choice you make is either building safety or creating threat in your relationship. Your nervous systems are constantly scanning for signs of connection or rejection. But when you understand this, you realise that good communication isn't just about talking. It's about nervous system regulation. It's about creating an environment where both people feel safe to be authentic. Therefore, improving your communication is actually improving your mental health as individuals and as a couple. So how do you actually implement these changes? Here's my 3-step framework. Step 1, awareness. Start noticing these patterns without judgment. Just observe when they happen. Step 2, pause. When you catch yourself falling into these patterns, take a breath. This pause is where your personal development happens. Step 3, choose. Consciously choose the healthier communication pattern. This builds new neural pathways over time. Look, relationships aren't supposed to be perfect, but they are supposed to be safe. When you eliminate these 5 communication mistakes, you create space for real intimacy to grow. Your emotional intelligence, your mental health, and your personal development all improve when you master these skills. But more importantly, you create a relationship that actually supports both people in becoming their best selves. If this video helped you recognise some patterns in your own relationship, hit that like button and let me know in the comments which mistake resonated most with you. And if you want more content about building emotionally intelligent relationships, make sure to subscribe because we're just getting started. Remember, every conversation is an opportunity to build connection or create distance. Choose wisely.